Okay, so I've printed up the, this is the ephemera kit that is going as a freebie in the Ephemeral Fox group. You can download the files there. It's the high-res versions are also in our membership, and they'll be going up, I think tonight. I'll put them up tonight so that you'll have them soon to play with. So I've got them all printed out. They're just so beautiful. This kit just amazed me just in how delicate it is, and yet it's still got that sort of ornate vintage quality to it. Anyway, I'm going to go and cut these out. I just sort of wanted to walk you through it because with these flaps and whatnot, it can be a little bit intimidating to make this one up. But I've started to get into a process where I put my ephemera kit together so that as I'm making my journal and I'm sort of printing off bits of ephemera as I go, or sometimes I do it all at once at the beginning, I've actually got somewhere to store it, and it doesn't just become sort of, I don't end up with stuff everywhere, which is quite likely for me. So it's kind of nice to do a storage solution first up so that you're all kind of set to go ahead and do some layering and tucking and all those wonderful things with your ephemera, but have somewhere to keep it in the meantime. All right, my loves, I'll be back soon. I'm going to go and cut these out. Okay, so I'm back. I've got everything cut out and scored. I actually mis-scored this a little bit. I'm going to have to do some revisions on this corner here just to kind of fix it up a little bit, but that's okay. Some glue left to dry, we'll sort that out. So, and I folded it all so it all kind of comes in together. I've got the little folders cut out and they're scored so they go together like that. I may line them. They do need a little bit of trimming. I haven't done a great job with these. I don't think I scored exactly the right spot, and I've got a bit of extra, so I might just come around and trim that off, just tidy things up a little bit. Ready to go. I've got a few little labels laying around. I've managed to scatter them, but they're here somewhere. I've got my little pockets, so these are going to go, designed to go kind of either on the outside or the inside of the folders, just to has an extra little security. Great for things like little stamps and things like that you sort of don't want to float around too much even in the folders. So they're all done, and I've got my 2 circles cut out. These will be used as a fastener on the front of here. So, but what I did was I cut them and then I glued them down and cut them again, so they're double thickness, so they're actually quite thick, those 2 now. Alrighty, so we've got to the pointy end of gluing this little beastie together. What I'm going to do is I'll be putting glue on the inside here, then folding this all up and pulling that edge up to line up there. I've got some paper clips. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the glue on, and then I'm kind of just going to let it sit for a little bit just until it's tacky, because I want these to actually adhere, kind of to stick together on contact. So I think that's going to be the way to do it. I'm going to be quite generous with the glue, and then I might just smooth it over with my finger actually, just to sort of get it there and get it tacky. Now I have glue all over my hand. Okay, no problem. We might start the other side in that case and just use that. Just smear that all over there. Okay. So I'm hoping that while I'm doing this, the other side is getting to that sort of tacky consistency where it sort of holds itself together once you put it there. All right. So we come back to here. I'm just going to wipe my finger off screen And then we'll come back and, all right, so I'm just going to hold this here. These are all folded and scored. Lift this up and just line it up. So you can see that's tacky. It's kind of holding on by itself, which is what we want. So what I can do is I'm just going to get my awl and I'm going to push from the inside just to sort of push those flaps up against the piece that we glued. And that should be enough to hold it together. What I will do though, and then just every so often I'll just come back, I think, over the next few minutes and just apply a little bit of pressure to that. I'm just going to put a paper clip on these on the top just to keep that flap lined up where I want that. So I've got a paper clip, you can see inside there, just to hold that together. I'm going to do the same on this side. Now this is the side that I mis-scored, so I'm just going to be quite careful with my lining up with this side. And I'll use the awl to just push it from the inside. And that little break in the paper there, might just put a little bit of glue on that now, and we'll just sort of push it back to where it should be. And you won't even know that I messed that up. Okay. So again, I'm just going to put my finger in there, and maybe the end of the awl, just to push the side of the box out and make sure that it's all touching that side piece. Okay, and a paper clip. Just to hold it together. All right, I'm just going to come back and give this another little shove. There we go. And there's our holder done. Need to wait for it to dry, and then I might put some velvet lace on it or something later. I'm going to line it as well before I finish it off. While that's all drying, I'm going to come through and put my pockets on the outside. So there are 3 pockets. It's kind of designed so 2 are kind of mix and match and can go anywhere, because there's 2 more plain ones of these. So this doesn't, you can still see it when you put it on the more plain surface. So you can put these little pockets on the inside or on the outside, depending on where you would like them. I'm going to line these as well. I think they're a bit stark, so I might line them with maybe mulberry paper. And so that one's very patterned, so these are kind of not really going to show. They're kind of going to get a bit lost. So I think this one I'm going to put a pocket on the inside after I've lined it, and the other 2 I might put the pockets on the outside just for small ephemera, because the 2 outsides are more plain, so they will look nice on there. And then that gives me a few little hide Hello. So I'm all finished and completed. I've got my little brads. I added some lace and the velvet ribbon down the side just for some extra texture. I've got my elastic band and a couple of little beads on the end just to give me something to pull. So that's my little box. Still a few little bits and pieces I will finish off just to perfect it. Some of these white bits need some, could do with a bit more inking. But I thought I'd show you through. So opening up, I've gone and I've lined with the mulberry paper like I did for the other one, and my little folders, spaces for ephemera. I've lined them with pattern paper and inked them. They look pretty cool. That's the next one along. So that one I put the pocket inside. And this last one has a pocket on the outside. So they're all done and ready to fill. And I've been busy. I've got a whole pile of bits of ephemera that I am going to go off and store in this lovely. So that's good. I can keep all this together while I'm making my journal. At the end, when I'm finished, this ephemera folder, actually, the way I make my journals, you can actually slot it into the journal itself too. So that will kind of finish everything off. So yeah, there we go. It's a fairly quick and straightforward little project, but it does help keep everything neat and tidy. And we're done. I hope you enjoyed that. So the printables to make this little box to keep your ephemera in is in the group. If you buy the kit, you get the high-res version, and of course with the kit you get all the ephemera too. So hopefully we'll see you in the membership. Thanks folks. Bye.